The topic what we are going to discuss today is programmable peripheral interface, where the number of this IC is 8255A. And this is Dr. S. Mohan Lakshmi, Professor and Head, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. And once the lecture is completed, the students will be able to explain the features of 8255A, and they'll be able to explain the various signals and ports associated with 8255, and they'll be able to classify the ports under group A and group B. So coming to the features, 8255 is a popular interfacing component where we can interface any TTL compatible IO device to a microprocessor. It is used to interface the keyboard and a parallel printer port in pieces. Usually, it is a part of an integrated chipset. It requires insertion of wait states if used with a microprocessor using higher than 8 MHz clock. So, programmable peripheral interface has 24 IO pins that are programmable in groups of 12 pins and has 3 distinct modes of operation. So, this is the 8255 pin layout where you could see 3 ports, port A, port B and port C, where each port is allocated with 8 pins. So, altogether put together it comes around 24 IO pins, and the remaining pins are the control signals. So this is the pin layout, and here under group A we have port A and port C upper, which is PC7 to PC4, and under the group B we have port B and half of the other port, which is PC3 and to PC0, which is the lower half of the port C. And the A1 and A0 pin will decide you the address of the IO port. If it is going to be 00, it is port A, 01, it is port B, 10, it is port C, 11, it is a control register or command register. So the functions of various pins of 8255 are: we have data bus lines, which is bidirectional. We have 8 lines over here, and this is connected to the data bus for transferring the data. So it is with either 85 processor or 86 processor. It will be connected like this. And chip select signal, which is an active low signal, and whenever it is low, there will be a data transfer. And coming to the read signal, this is an active low signal. When it is low, the read operation will start. And similarly, write is also an active low signal. When it is low, the write operation will start. And as I mentioned already, this A0 and A1 line will be used to select the ports. Either it's a port A, port B or port C or the control register. And we have a reset pin which is used to reset that device, which means it will clear the control register. And coming to the ports, port A, that is PA0 to PS7, it is an 8-bit bidirectional IO port which is used to send the data to peripheral as well as the receive data from peripheral. And similarly, port B is very similar to port A, and port C is also very similar to the remaining ports, but it is divided into 2 groups, where we call PC0 to PC3 as a lower group and PC4 to PC7 as a higher group. And this is the block diagram where you can see here under group A we have port A and port C upper. Group B we have port B and port C lower. We have all the IO pins associated, and data bus buffer we have D7 to D0, and the read write control logic we have read pin, write pin, A1 and A0, reset, chip select, and of course we have 2 pins allocated for the power supply. So data bus buffer, it is a 8-bit bidirectional data bus which is used to interface 8255 data bus with the system bus. So the internal data bus and outer pins D0 to D7 are connected internally. The direction of data buffer is decided by the read control logic, read write control logic. So read write control logic, it is getting the input signals from the control bus and address bus. And the control signal, obviously it will be read or write. And address signals are A0, A1 and chip select. It is this IC 8255 is enabled or disabled by the chip select. And as I mentioned already, the group A control and the group B control. So group A has port A and port C upper, group B has port B and port C lower. And here port A or port B, whatever it is all buffered IO latch. So after learning this portion, so the students should be able to answer these things where representing the logic levels of A1 and A0 for selection of various ports, and what are the main features of 8255, what are the few applications of 8255 as parallel interface, and which port of 8255 is bifurcated. So the main application is you can connect any parallel devices, something like printer or keyboard. And here we have A1 and A0 will decide you the type of port. Okay, thank you.